You're listening to or watching the Zen Supermom podcast, and today's episode is for you if your situation was already heavy and bad enough, and now it got even worse, and you are feeling totally out of control, and you don't want to take it out on your kids. So, what to do then? Let's dive in. Hi, I'm Elena Gomez Rodriguez, and I'm a mental fitness coach for busy moms. And this is the first podcast to help you increase your stress resistance so that you can become a Zen Supermom and simply do it all while staying calm and happy. Welcome to the Zen Supermom podcast. Hi Supermom, Elena here, your mommy tantrum specialist. And today, welcome to my yoga mat. I actually started my day as I usually try to do by taking care of myself because I do what I preach. So I started my yoga session this morning, and then as I was thinking, I started thinking already about this podcast, and ideas started downloading. Like I was thinking, okay, and it needs to be about this, and I cannot forget to say this and this and this is important. And so everything was like downloading, and I just got the urge, okay, I have to do it. I have to do it now, because by the time I finish my yoga class, I take a shower, have my breakfast, start my day, it will be gone. I was afraid I was going to lose it because it already happened to me a few times. That I had excellent ideas and it was just all flowing naturally. And then when it was the time to start and hit the start button, it was not there. It was not that natural and easy. So welcome to my yoga mat. This is my face when I wake up. I hope you don't mind because you're not here to see my face. You are here to get help, because today, as always, it is inspired by all the stories of my clients. Okay. And you might be going through something similar. And before I get there, no trauma trigger alert. Okay, usually when I see Facebook posts or when people are making videos about heavy stuff, like really heavy stuff, they put their trauma alert or like trigger warning, that's the word I was looking for, trigger warning. Well, if you've been around my podcast and what I do, like all I talk about is trauma, because spoiler alert, this is what your anger, uncontrollable anger at your kids is about. And most of the stress, that's where it's coming from. But I don't do any trauma triggers, like trigger warnings. Because my entire approach, everything that I do, my entire mission is for you to stop avoiding the triggers and start healing them. Okay, so this episode, like all of the others, will be full of me talking about heavy stuff. And some of that might bring up your stuff, because I cannot say heavier words I would love to use, so I'll keep saying stuff, but you can imagine what else I want to say that is stronger to really describe and capture the heaviness of the situation. So I'm not going to do any trigger warning either, but yeah, this is going to be a heavy episode because it is for those of you who are going through something very heavy. And the inspiration, as I already wanted to start mentioning to you, I have lots of moms right now who are, well, in general, about half of my moms are divorced or separated. Most of the custody battles were hell. I have moms who were fine having one kid, but then the second one came and everything turned upside down, especially if it was a risk pregnancy and suddenly you're lying in bed, you cannot move, and you're freaking out because you're ready to be like so active and you want to stay in shape, and suddenly there's nothing you can do and your firstborn little toddler is going crazy. Then I have moms who are having really heavy custody battles with their exes because they know how abusive and violent the ex is, and knowing that your child is leaving to spend a week or even longer with that abuser and that the abuse continues on your child, that's heavy. As if that was not enough, there are moms whose husbands are sick. So okay, you're lucky enough to have a husband or partner who's supporting you, but then he gets sick. Like just last week, we had 2 moms coming in whose husbands have cancer. I had mom whose husband died on cancer. Right now, there's one husband in a hospital because he had a heart attack and it's not looking good for him. He might not be coming back from the hospital. So can you imagine the heaviness for those moms? And what is it for you? You already thought you had it hard and now suddenly something happened that was completely out of your control. And so you're freaking out. Because on top of all the stress that you had, it's suddenly it's like being hit by a ton of bricks. And you're thinking, holy moly, how do I even get up in the morning for my kid? Because I know if it's so heavy on me, it's even heavier on my child or children. And I know I have to be there for them, but where do I even take the strength? Okay, if this is what's happening. Okay, so take a deep breath in. This episode is for you. All right. You know that I'm not digging into trauma and making you feel like blah, just to re-traumatize you. I'm doing it. I was very specific in describing what possible scenarios you might be going through because there's a path that I want to take you on to help you and to start healing. Because no, I'm not a magical fairy. I cannot wave my wand and make everybody around you healthy and all problems go away and all judges to become finally smart enough to stop the abuse of your child by your ex. I cannot do that. What I can do is to help you with those few more tweaks that are in your control and that will make it easier for you. Easier, not easy. I'm not idiot. I know it's not going to disappear in one day. That's not what I'm promising. But there are ways how you can make it easier. And I know if there's your inner critic judge who's now coming full force to defend you because you are already doing so much and you are doing the best you can. And I'm not saying you're not. I know you are. But there might be few things you're not seeing. Okay? Not because you're a bad mom, not because you're a bad person. No. Shh. I know you're doing your best. My intention is just to help you from another perspective because I have seen it in so many different cases with so many moms. And my advantage is that I'm not pulled right into it. I'm not right there feeling the pain and the sweat and the tears and the drama of it. I have a little bit of distance. That's what allows me to try and pick a different perspective that can help you because I have seen that over and over again. Those are little tweaks that might create a lot of difference and ease and calm and peace for you, even in those impossible situations. Okay? If that's what you're here for, that's what you're going to get. Okay, this is not going to be a victim pity party comparing who has it worse and poor me. And those moms you're talking about, they have it bad. Just listen about my story. It's even 1,000 times worse. Okay, no judges here, no victims here. Let's have a look. What is it that you can do about the situation? Sounds good? So I started to take those notes because I didn't want to forget anything. First thing to realize, it does suck and is heavy. We are not going to pretend. This is not going to be faking positive thinking. Just look at the bright side of it. How is this good? No, I know that what you're feeling right now is most likely a lot of pain and a lot of helplessness and a lot of out of control. I'm doing my best. There are just these things I can not do anything about. Okay? So I'm going to offer you two shifts and two little tweaks. How you can make it easier, okay? Tweak number one. What I usually notice, why it feels so heavy, it's because you had some expectations how it should be. It was your dreams. It was I was hoping and all the other moms have it like this, and why is it me who has it so hard? And we should have been a happy family and poor us, and this is not what I signed up for. So whatever those voices are, notice that those were your expectations and you are comparing them now to what is. Okay? So your first step might be to catch this, first of all. That this is one of the things why it feels so heavy, because you are not accepting what is. You are still, there is regret, there is grief, there might be guilt if you were part of it in any way, even like a small percentage, like why things got where they are now. If there's any role you played in it, there might be guilt and shame. But notice that this is what makes it even heavier for you than it would have to be. Okay. So first step is realizing it, that this is what is doing to you. You holding on to those expectations and keep comparing how different they are from what is, that's what makes it heavier. This is the first thing. What is it that you could do instead? This will be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of hyperachiever, controlling, perfectionist moms. Rather than trying to keep pushing, like trying to put all of your force and energy and like mental space and all of your focus on trying to push it back in the direction where you want it, float. Surrender. Accept what is. This is the best starting place to start actually changing or making the best out of the situation that you have in hand. If you stop pushing and wasting your energy on wishing and trying to get back to where it was, or trying to get it back to where you think it should be. Because most often, this is where you waste your precious energy. Okay? Blaming yourself, blaming others, trying to push others to change. All of those that's where you drain your energy. Not that you are being drained, you subconsciously, you don't do it intentionally, but this is where you actively contribute to making yourself feel worse, because you keep pushing in that direction that is not possible right now. It's a dead end road. Like you cannot go back to what it used to be before you had kids, before your husband got sick, before you got sick. Like there's no going back. It might require a period of grieving. You letting go of that impossible dream that you once had, for example, that your kids will be born healthy. I have also lots of moms whose kids are born and they have some problems, mentally or physically. And they keep pushing for having this perfect family with perfect kids, and trying to research and do anything possible just to make sure their kids are as normal as possible. But when it goes into extreme, and you start like controlling and perfecting and trying to really push in that direction that is not realistically possible, that's where you not only drain yourself, but you also make it much more difficult even for everybody else. Okay, so there is a part where you might need to grieve. Like, okay, I don't have any control over this situation. It is what it is. Yes, I will do my best to improve within what I can do, but the rest of the expectations I have to let go of. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to have a happy family. If my husband is abusing me, if he's beating me up, like there's a point when I will need to let go of that dream that this would be a happy family, and I will need to do what I need to do to protect myself and my kids, right? This is your journey. It's your timeline. Those are your decisions. But this is usually one of the first steps. Letting go of the dream and surrendering, accepting what is. Not surrendering passively in a way of like, let yourself be beaten up by the situation or by another person, but accepting, okay, this is really, like, this is the reality. Let's not try to avoid it, sugarcoat it. This is what I'm handling with. Because that's the best place from which you can start taking action that will make sense and that will help you forward. Okay, does that make sense? This was the first step. Letting go of the expectations. Whenever you hear that judge voice in your head who starts comparing, and the victim voice in your head who starts complaining like, poor me, and like, I'm out of control, nothing I can do, and it should have been better, and blah, 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 blah. This is how you make it heavier for yourself. Okay. Including the resentment for your husband who's not helping enough because you have sick kids and you're lying in bed the whole night. Like, hi, yes, I'm using all of your stories, ladies. You're helping others. That resentment towards your husband who's there and who's not helping, like, this is not making it any easier for you. So either go and ask your husband to help you, or stop wishing your husband was different, right? You keep yourself stuck and drained this way, okay? I know, not an easy thing to hear. It's like the ego is there, like cringing. But when you really think about it, without getting defensive, like, that's what it is, right? That was step 1. If that was your situation, if you found some gems in it, let me know. I hope this was already giving you some first insight. It's not all. We go to step 2. Because I already touched it. A lot of why it feels so heavy is you feeling out of control. You feeling like bad things are happening to you, things or people are doing stuff, and you cannot prevent it. And you are hurting. Sometimes even worse, your kids are hurting as well. Okay, so what do you do then? This is a classic exercise that you might have seen somewhere, but this is how so often it happens with my moms. Like, you know already so much. You read all the parenting books and all the theories and stuff, all the time management, time, like, routine, effectiveness tricks to be the speediest, most effective supermom in the world. The moment it's only in your head because it's a theory you read on paper and you don't implement, what good is it to you? So if you heard it before and your judge in your head will have the tendency to say, nah, read about it, doesn't work. Keep listening, and now it's time to start implementing it. All right, so here it goes. Circle of control. Whenever you're feeling out of control because bad stuff is happening to you, it's time to, in your mind or really on a piece of paper, draw a circle and imagine what is inside of that circle you are in control of. You can do something about that. What is outside, you have no control over that. So examples: husband having cancer, outside. Kid having bronchiolitis, and you not, well, no, that would be the second part of it. Kid not having bronchiolitis, out of the control. Abusive husband having the kid for 10 days, for the next 10 days, and you freaking out. No, that's the second part of it already. Husband having kid for 10 days, out of control. You did what you could at the court with your lawyer. He has the kid for 10 days. Cannot do anything about it. Now, what is it that you can do? That's what goes inside the circle. All right? And that's why I was already in the second part of it. So your kid having bronchiolitis, nothing you can do about it. You being a sleepless zombie, well, what is it that you can do about it? Is it possible that you have 8 hours of sleep that night? Like, no. Okay, this was part of step 1. Stop having wishful thinking. You're not getting 8 hours of sleep tonight. But what is it that you can do to still get at least some rest and to take care of yourself? Write it inside the circle. Okay. Your abusive husband having your kid for the next 10 days, nothing you can do about it. But do you have to feel like a piece of for the next 10 days, like completely beaten down? Does it mean that you will cry your eyes out even for the week that your kid will be with you? Is that the best thing to do for you and for the kid? No. So what is it that you can do? Because there's a lot. You are the mother. And if you do have at least a partial custody of the child, you can build them up during that time you have them. You can build them up so that they have the confidence in them, they feel strong enough, they feel nurtured and loved unconditionally by at least one parent. One parent is enough. One parent is enough. Hear me. If you're afraid to get a divorce and leave your abusive husband because you're afraid of breaking the family is already broken. Your kids are getting a weird, twisted blueprint for what love is supposed to be and for how family is supposed to feel like. One parent is enough. As long as that parent is unconditionally loving, healed herself, and so that then you're able to strengthen and build your kids up. Okay? And this is exactly what I'm doing, like going back to the example of my client who has like super abusive ex, and now her daughter confirmed he is abusing her as well when she's with him alone. Okay. that desperate mom, there's nothing she can do about this arrangement. What she did start doing is building her daughter up. So we cleaned up her relationship. She's no longer yelling at her daughter, talking to her and thinking about her like, you got the narcissistic fleece of your father. No, because she sees like whatever her daughter's disobedience, her daughter's acting out in those few days that they are together, it is a trauma response of her daughter. Her daughter is suffering as well. So rather than being punished for the hurt, she needs the help of her mom. She needs to feel loved unconditionally and safe and calm so that in this safe haven, she can recharge. She can strengthen up so that when the time comes and she has to be with her father again, nobody can break her. Okay? Because her mother is her pillar and her mother is building her into a pillar, the girl, right? This is what you can do with your kids. You cannot protect them, not always, from all the dangers of the outside world. The only insurance you have is you, first of all, stop spewing your trauma, your own childhood trauma onto them by yelling at them and blaming them and shaming them for having big emotions, which are usually a sign of something going on for them. And build them up instead. Do the exact opposite. There are ways how you can set clear boundaries and help your kids learn the rules of the life without breaking them down like your parents did to you. You can do it. You can help them navigate through life and through how do we do things in the family and how do we not yell at each other? How do we not hit each other when we are angry? You do that by your own example. By showing them this is how we handle big emotions. This is how we handle it what mommy does. Like right now, I'm hungry, I'm nervous, I want to get moving fast, but I understand you will need some time to put on your socks and put on your shoes. So I'm going to wait here. But just to let you know, I'm getting hungry. It's not comfortable. Okay. This is how you model, right? Step by step, situation by situation. You can do it only once you are healed. Then you can start building your kid up so that no matter what anybody does to them, no matter what anybody tells them how they should be feeling, how they are not good enough or perfect, whatever, the kids will have the capacity to think, compare with the base they have from you. And now what this other person is coming with, they'll be like, no, this is not true. I know I'm worthy enough. Okay, even if I made a mistake, I'm going to learn from it, but that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person or that I'm stupid or whatever. So if you keep saying that, bye, I'm not going to listen to you. Okay? This is what is within your control. You cannot control what people will enter your child's life, your life. What you are in control is strengthening and building yourself up to make sure you not only survive it, but you can actually stay in calm and peace. No matter what's going on around you, no matter what other people are doing around you. Not saying that you should allow them to come and hurt you. On the contrary, once you are strong enough yourself and once you strengthen your kids up, you will be able to set those boundaries. Okay, this is fine, and no, this is where I draw the line. Okay? Circle of control. There are no bad or good situation. Life will be throwing at you left and right stuff. The question is, how quickly can you bounce back? How strong are you inside? And how are you building your kids up so that they can do the same? Okay? This is what we are doing here, and this is why it is so important. I stayed, I don't even know for how long, for 2 years as a victim. When my daughter was born, I thought I was ready for anything. I was ready to carry the stress pressure because I had a high pressure job before and career with lots of expectations and people dumping on me and my parents dumping on me. I thought I could handle it. When I became a mom, I turned into a complete victim. And I have a very loving, supportive husband and everything. I turned into a complete victim. This is what's wrong, and I thought this would be different, and we are expatriate family, I have no support, and blah, 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 and this is why I feel down, and so that's why I keep yelling at my daughter, which I felt guilty and shamed about, I felt ashamed, but I felt, well, it's justified, right? Who wouldn't be feeling this way? it took me a long time to get out of it. This is why I'm doing this episode, to help you. If you're feeling in the same victim corner with dark clouds hanging over your head and saying like, no, I tried and don't tell me to do anything more because I'm already so exhausted by doing so much. Well, this is why I'm doing this episode. I'm hoping that these two shifts could help you. So wrap up so that I can go back to my yoga now and my battery is going to die on the computer. First of all, if you're feeling stuck, out of control because a bad situation turned even worse, first of all, check your expectations. Are you still in your mind in the like what should have been instead? Or are you accepting what is? Are you pushing in a direction that's like blocked, that is not going to go anywhere? Or are you floating? By floating, I mean like, you know, when you lie down or lie up on the water surface rather than trying to struggle and swim against the current. When you just relax and you breathe, you can lie on the water without moving and the water just carries you. Okay, so pushing or floating. And you don't have to be a passive, like a victim of what's happening around you. Draw in your mind or on paper your circle of control. Out of everything that's happening, what is outside? Let go. Stop wasting your mental energy wishing it would be different. Focus on what is inside your circle of control. What is it that you can do, even in this impossible situation? Because I can guarantee you there's a lot you can do once you have the right perspective. Okay. So I want to leave you with the last piece of valuable help, I hope. Start asking your super smart brain this question. Whenever you catch any victim voices, any complaining, judging, comparison, expectation voices in your head, shift it into a question. You might not get the answer immediately, but it will come. What is the one thing only right now that I could focus on to make it easier? Not easy. It will not be easy if you're in such a heavy stuff. Easier. What is the one thing I could focus on, I could do, I could be, I could whatever right now to make it easier for me and my child? Keep asking yourself that question and I can guarantee your intuition, your subconscious mind will keep throwing like potential avenues for you to start walking in a new direction. This is what I had for you today. I honestly hope that it started opening up something for you. I know it's not easy and you're not supposed to do it as a DIY. If you need any help, reach out. You know where to find me. You have my email address everywhere. I'm all over social media. Just reach out, okay? I'm sending you lots of strength, lots of love, and keep me posted how this helped you. Take care, Supermom. Have a nice day.